In this video, we're going to write the filter logic in our getCars method. So as we have seen in the previous video, our car list is ready, our filter is ready, and based on the filter inputs, we want to filter out our car list. So there are two approaches basically. Either we can do the filtering at client side, and the second approach is to do the filtering at server side, which means with the help of Apex. If the data is less, we do the filtering at the client side, which means at the component level only. But if the data is very huge, we always prefer to do the filtering at server side, that is Apex. In this video, we are going to follow the server side approach. Even though our data is less, we hardly having 10, 11 car details, but it's always good to do the things for a bigger project always at the server side, because it's more powerful and more capable of handling the huge data. So that's what we're going to write our filter logic now in the getCars method. So let's go to our VS Code, and if we look at the our car controller, this controller we are using in our component, and the method that we are using is getCars. Now what I want is, whenever I'll change something from here, these details should come to the method, and based on those details our query runs and gives us the respective data. And for that, what we're going to do is we're going to create a wrapper class first, because we need a what we call a standard or mixed data type basically. Why mixed? Because we have string, we have numbers, we have arrays. Like you can set send multiple categories, you can set multiple make. So there are different types of data. So let's create a wrapper class. So I'll put wrapper class, or we can call it as container class as well. So I'll say public class filters. Then we're going to write, let's say, at the rate or enabled. We'll create a property public string search key, and we'll set get set. Search key is the same property we are using in our component. We go to our component and look at the filter component. Here we are using the search key, so same key name I'm using it here. So the next one is the max price. I'll come here and I'll create public decimal max price. I'll copy this, paste it. I'm using the same keys whatever we are using in our car filter. I'll copy this again and paste it below. And the third one is the category. So if I go here and the categories we are using with the name categories, I'll come here and says third one categories, and this is array of string. So we're going to say string of array. Then the fourth one is our max price. I'll go to car filter and take the name of the property make type, not make price, make type, and I'll set the make type, and this is also a array of string. So now our wrapper class is ready. Now whenever we call this method, we have to pass the filter details. So the filter details will be of type filters. We'll say filters will come, will pass the same name from the component, and it is of type filters. And now what we're going to do is, first we'll create some properties. So we'll say string key where clause equal to empty string. So we created the two variable key and where clause, and where clause I initialize with the empty string. Then we'll create another property of type decimal, and the property name is max price. And always remember to close with the semicolon, because in Apex we always end the statement with the semicolon. Then we need categories. So categories is of array of string. Say category, and this should be the exact same name. Okay. And then make type, then criteria, and criteria we will initialize as list. So to create the list of string, the list of string, we are creating all these properties. And then what we're gonna check is, first thing, whenever the filters come, we'll check whether this filter is not equal to null. If not, then perform the following logic. Okay, now we got the filter. Suppose we are hitting and passing the data, then we need to check two things one by one. First thing, what we're gonna do is we'll assign the max price to max price variable. So I'll say max price equal to filters dot max price. Similarly, I'll do the same thing for categories as well. I'll say whatever the categories comes in the filters, assign it to categories, and the same thing I'll do it for make type. If make type comes, assign it to make type. After this, I'll check whether the search key that is coming in the filter is not empty or it's empty. So we can do like not of string dot is empty. We'll call this method and we'll pass filters dot search key, and we'll check whether the search key is empty or not. If it's empty, not empty, then what we're gonna do is we have used the not operator in the starting, so which means the search key is available. Then we'll say okay, in the key, the variable that we have defined on the top, assign, we are creating a dynamic concatenation. So we'll say plus filters dot search key, the name filters dot search key, this should be filters. So filters dot search key and end with the percentile. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add this key to the criteria. Criteria is a list. We'll say criteria dot add, and we'll say name like key, and then we can end this with the semicolon. Then after that, we're going to check whether the price, max price, is greater than 0 or not. So we'll do if filters dot max price greater than equal to 0. If it's greater than equal to 0, then in the criteria we'll add a property that is MSR. That's the actually the field API name, and we'll check is less than equal to the max price, and max price will be mapped here. And max price we already store in the top, so we're gonna do it this way. We'll end it with the semicolon. Then we'll check whether the category is there or not. So what we're gonna do, we'll say again if statement, we'll say filters dot categories is not equal to null. It means the category has some values. And then we'll say criteria dot add the criteria condition. So we have criteria underscore underscore c, and we'll check whether that criteria is available. We are generating we are using the SOQL in operator, which is mainly used to compare a value to a list of the values, and that has been specified, and it retrieves the record if it matches the value specified in the list. We are using in operator, and we are passing the categories that we are getting from the filters that we already store on the top categories. We'll say go and check all the categories that are available in this. So if we selected two categories here, it will go and bring all the record that has those categories. So similarly, we'll do the same thing for make type. So on the top, we already have make type. We'll say if make type is not null, then take make type, and we are going to pass the field AP name of make underscore C, and we'll say if make underscore C in make type, then give those records which has that make type, and at the end we're gonna check whether we have something in the criteria or not. There may be a chance there is no search key, no max price, no criteria, no make type. So we need to check whether the criteria, that is our list, as size greater than 0, and then we'll use where clause and says where, I'll paste where the string join criteria with the AND operator. We are just writing all the things with the AND. Now here we are joining all the properties that we have add to the criteria with the AND operator, and now it will be stored in the where clause. Where clause we already created on the top, and now let's create our main query. So we'll say string query, and then I'll say select ID. I need name, I need MSRP, I need description, I need criteria, category, not criteria, category. Then I need picture URL, and I'll take everything from here and paste it here in the string form, and then I'll, it's not in the backtick, in the string form, the top, and I'll say select ID, name, MSRP, description, category, picture URL from car. Then I say plus where clause. So I am adding this where clause dynamically here. I'll say where clause plus with security enforce. I'll say with security enforced, and then we can add our order by as well, and say order by name. So we want to sort the records by name, so that also will work in this query, and end the query with the semicolon. Now this query will run, and what we want is to run this query, we're gonna call database dot query, and we'll pass this query. So that's how we run the dynamic queries. Let's close that with a semicolon. So now our method is ready for filtering, and now we have to pass the filters. So let's go to the method who is calling this getCars. So we can go to the search and we can type this method, and the method that is calling, and the component that is calling is car tile list. We can go to that car tile list, and we'll create a property filters and initialize it with the empty object. And we already know we can pass the wire configuration adapter, so we'll pass that as second parameter, and here the parameter should be the same name that your method is expecting. So it's the name of the parameter that is expecting is filters. So we'll come here and say filters equal to, and we know wire is a reactive property, so we'll use $filters. So anytime any change happen to the filters, it will call the wire service again and bring the data again. So right now we have just mapped. Let's deploy this and see whether our filtering method is working fine. It's not breaking anything. We haven't connected our filter with the car list tile yet, but we are just making sure by passing the empty filters, because on load there should be an empty filters. On load, if the filters are empty, then whether our car controller method getCars is working fine or not. So let's deploy first our method, and then let's deploy our component as well. And if you guys didn't understand what we have written in the Apex controller, you can just copy paste as it is from the file that is attached to this video resource, and you can still continue learning with the focus on LWC. So now it's deployed. Let's go and refresh the page and see whether the tiles are loading correctly or not. And now you can see our cars are still loading. Now our main task is whenever we'll change something, we should pass these details to our car list controller, and that car list controller automatically call the Apex and fetch the filter data. So that's for this thing we need to implement the lightning messaging service, and in the next video we're going to do that. So I'll see you in the next video.